In today's video, we're going to be going over TikTok's biggest dental trends, from crazy purple tongues to hilarious wisdom teeth removal aftermath, and ending with the craziest. A dentist reveals his secret to the perfect smile.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love.
You wouldn't want to be anybody else until you break that bracket, because what if I told you that one little tiny broken bracket can put you back 2 months in treatment, and in some cases 4 months in treatment longer because you broke that bracket. That's right, I have people ask me all the time, Bentist, does breaking brackets really matter? And well, the answer is it depends. You see, if you break your bracket right before your appointment, that teeth does not have time to shift. And so, well, you're probably gonna get away with it because we can put that bracket on exactly where we had it and we can put that wire in. Say you break a bracket 2 weeks before the appointment and that tooth shifts a little bit. Well, now I can't fit that bigger wire in there. And so when you come into the thing, not only do we have to repair the broken bracket, but now that wire won't fit anymore, and we have to what we call drop back to a wire that you had prior to, or leave the wire that you just had in for 8 to 10 weeks in there again.
Love yourself. You gotta embrace every single
What are those? Is what you guys keep texting me and tagging me and DMing me saying, what the heck is going on in this person's mouth, Bentist? Are these real teeth or not? And you know, it saddens me a little bit because I feel like we're not educated as a population to know what the anatomy of a human tooth looks like. Although there are some weird things that can make your teeth look a little weird, I'm not too quite sure that these are real. So first, there are different things you can do. You can have less teeth or more teeth. We call that hypodontia and we call that hyperdontia. You can also have issues where the enamel doesn't form or the dentin doesn't form properly. Those are called enamelogenous imperfecta, dentogenous imperfecta, all that type of stuff. Can cause the shape of your teeth to be kind of funky, but still the main shape of your teeth remains the same. From what I could research and gather, it looks like she just stuck a bunch of nails together and she's just biting on them, or maybe coffee filters or something. They're not real teeth. It's completely fake. The whole account is made up and she's just using you guys for clicks and likes to try and get a little bit of money and some views.
Make me a grill.
Man, I wish I would have known that about 20 years ago. But for real though, we know we've been blinging out retainers for a while. In fact, I was the very first person to ever bling out a retainer, as you can see here. But for real though, what's going on here? Can I do this? Is this safe? Is it gonna break my retainer? What's going on here? Well, in fact, most of you guys are not gonna have retainers like this. This is what we call a Holly retainer. It's an old school retainer that used metal and acrylic to really hold things in. Nowadays, we do have clear retainers more similar to this that protect the full coverage of the tooth and protect from wear of your teeth as well. But as you can see here, it is still available to be bedazzled if you said want to. But there is a few things that you probably want to know first. One, to get that stuff on there, you're gonna have to use some type of glue, super glue, things like that. And honestly, I don't know the long-term effects of having that glue leak into your mouth over time. So overall, you can do it, but I don't recommend it. I would rather you just, you know, wear your retainers the way they're supposed to and keep your teeth straight.
So no, I don't want your number, no. I don't wanna give you mine, no.
I'm just gonna be real with you. You're not brushing your teeth correctly. And I would know because I didn't learn until I was, 23 how to properly brush my teeth. You see, I was literally mid-dental school in the middle of a lecture when they brought up a little tooth model to show us this thing called the Bass method of brushing my teeth. But of course, as you know, and we can't just teach this, you know, you gotta pay a lot of money, you gotta go into dental school, because there's no way I would ever leave. All right, so anyways, how to do the Bass method of brushing. Instead of a back and forth or just a circular motion here, it's actually due to the angle of the brush, you know, the little angle there. You see how it's twisting? So instead of going straight onward like this, you actually want to angle it up to the gum tissue. And then you're going to do your circles, and then you're going to flick downwards. So circle, circle, flick downwards. Circle in the gum tissue and flick downwards. I don't know why you guys keep tagging me in this, but I got tagged 1,000 times saying, just watch the video. You'll see. Okay, she's brushing. Spray that little cavity. Mr. Brain. I see you, Brain. Wishy, wishy, wishy. Such a mean. Oh, you gotta brush that tongue. Okay, looking good. All right, he's going to bed with a clean set of teeth here. Pain. Why my homie got pain? I'm so confused about his pain. Oh, a tooth is coming in. That's what. Oh, he's got an abscess. Those are painful. Oh no, it is. It's a wisdom tooth. Wisdom tooth is coming in. Yeah, get your wisdom teeth out, guys, because it can get impacted and it can cause an infection, and then you're gonna have to go to the hospital and get it out. So, what a wild cartoon, though. Okay, first off, 9 years is crazy, but that's not what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the time in braces, although that is a little bit wild. But what I do want to talk about is why her smile looks so good, because there's a small little detail that a lot of people don't realize that can turn your smile from average to Hollywood overnight, and that is what we like to call smile arc. That's right, a smile arc, or basically how arcish the teeth are. Are they flat, are they arced, are they whatever, is actually a big determinant on whether your smile looks super good or not. There's a very important thing that frames your smile, and that is your lower lip. And so your lower lip, some people's lower lips are flatter, some people's are more arched. And so we actually have to move and change the way that your upper teeth are angled to follow that lower lip line and give you a proper smile arc.
It's okay.
There are two things that I can guarantee you after a wisdom tooth surgery. One, crying. Lots of crying. And two, is just completely acting a fool. And it's not actually the surgery, it's the anesthesia that you take, because what it does is it causes two things. One, for you to be completely out of it. And two, weirdly enough, it makes you tell the truth. That's right, it's like a truth serum. And one of the craziest things we see is what kids say when they wake up from this stuff, because they normally tell a lot of secrets to their parents that they absolutely should not be saying. Another really big thing that happens is you think your tongue falls out. I don't know why people think that. I mean, I get it. It's because when we put the gauze packets back there, they kind of fill up with the red stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not trying to get, triggered or anything here. And so when that falls out of their mouth, they get this red thing that falls out of their mouth. And for some reason, they always think that they lost their tongue, and then that makes them cry and freak out even more. That is scary and also confusing. Also, why do those things look like frog eggs? It's disgusting. No, seriously, you ASMR people weird me out. I'm not even gonna lie, straight up, you weird me out. But let's just say you were biting on your tongue. If you bit off your tongue, what happens? A lot of people think that it grows back, but actually it doesn't grow back. Another crazy thing is that your tongue is actually controlled by two halves of muscles. In fact, your body was actually formed in two halves that kind of sealed together in the middle. And your tongue is no different. It was formed in two halves that now fuse together. So if you actually cut right down the middle, you can have what's called a split tongue. And that tongue can actually move both sides independently. Now, that not necessarily won't grow back, but it will try and fuse back together. So those guys will have to get re-split over time because their tongue will keep trying to grow back together. But as cool as all that is, I don't suggest you eating your tongue and even more so eating a tongue ring.
If you lose one of your adult teeth, the bone where the tooth once was can start to deteriorate.
This is actually true. Have you ever heard of the term, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, that's exactly what happens to bone. If you don't have a tooth or a root stimulating that bone will actually dissolve away. It's why old people look old, because all their bones dissolve away and their chin and tongue look good. Let's keep going and see if it's right.
To prevent further damage, a dentist will fill the cavity with a synthetic material that mimics real bone. Once filled, a metal bracket is secured on top and the incision is closed. After the graft has healed, a large implant post is inserted into the new bone. Then a small metal piece is screwed in and a porcelain tooth is secured on top.
This is a pretty good representation of what an implant is like. A lot of people freak out because they think it's going to be super painful, but actually you're just going to feel a little bit of pressure. You shouldn't really feel too much pain. I'll tell you, one of the craziest things about being a dentist / orthodontist is how much I realize people's teeth before they even know I realize what's going on with their teeth, because I can tell a lot about this person without even seeing their face. So let's go over this girl's. The first thing I notice is she's got a gap, but it's not an even gap. So that means that it's probably caused by something, and my brain would eventually go to, does she have a frenum issue? And it looks like she does have a frenum. And you can see that thing that's stuck right here is going all the way down here into her gum tissue, attaching, causing her gap. The next thing I notice is she's got got a little snaggle tooth right here, and that's actually because she has an anterior crossbite. And the last thing that I see looking at this is all the white spots on her teeth. And when I see that, I know almost immediately that this person had one of two things. More likely, it's the other. And that is actually a high fluoride content in your water, often found in country towns that have well water and a ton of fluoride in them.
So I've never seen the process of them removing grills before. For some reason, I always thought like once you put grills in, like you have to keep them forever. But apparently, literally, you can take them off. And like the process of them taking them off is not easy.
I think you'd be surprised at the amount of pain that these grills actually cause these rappers and everybody else that wear these grills. And I should know, because I had a patient one time that I literally thought they were going to pass away from the pain of taking their grills off. I was ready to see what the process was to get these things off. And then the doctor turns to me and looks and said, "Have you ever seen a grill removal before?" And I said, "No, I'm from a small town in Oklahoma. The closest I got to grills was putting those foil gum wrappers on my teeth." And he's sitting there, and my man pulls out an instrument very similar to this guy with a giant metal hook, and he puts it on there and he starts and I see the soul leave this man's body. Because I'm not gonna lie, if the individual grill did not come off tooth by tooth, I bet you the man felt like his whole entire tooth was coming out of his face with it. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to leave halfway because I was embarrassed, because that man was squealing like a 13-year-old